Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And yesterday Boss unveiled the new Katana Mkii. I think is the way you spell it, right? So the first one was the Mk1. I didn't know that until yesterday, and now it's the Mkii. So as you guys can see here on the screen, I'm mostly interested, and I already ordered mine, or I'll receive it in the meantime, the Katana 100, because the features it has, just like before we had on the 50 version and the 100 watt version, differences like the effects loop and stuff like that. But if you guys see here on the screen, there's pretty much a description of what is new. Okay, so there's new effects. I've seen some videos from Andertons and Rabia about the Katana, and I think there's new effects that are only compatible with the new amp. And I guess this is because of the hardware, the difference in the hardware, and not possible to do it on the first Katana generation 1, because the hardware is not capable of doing those new effects and other things that come in this new amp. So I think the other Boss Katana, I think they're discontinued by now, except for the head and maybe the hair and the artist, of course. But I think that due to the hardware, they had to launch a new one. So because we had like lots of requests regarding the software BTS, Boston Studio, and I made a poll in my Facebook group where I asked about what people would like to see in future revisions, and that went to Boss and blah blah blah, and they made a new amp with the features. Most of the features are in fact ones that we have requested. Okay, Tube Logic approach, like says here, 5 unique amp characters. Now you have the same five amps: lead, crunch, lead, clean, brown, and acoustic. But you have a variation for each channel, so it changes the sound. So it's like having, instead of 5, and having like 10 different sections for the amps. The old foot switch is not old; it's still the same foot switch. They just changed the stickers on it, so it has new assignments and new stuff for that. But it's the same one, so you don't have to buy a new one. It's a great time for us guitar players, and Boss has done it again and has done it really well. I'm really anxious to get mine and start fiddling around. Okay, but there's a couple of cool features. There's a power amp in for preamps, models, or multi-effects. So this is really cool because you don't have to, if you have a GT1000 or a Line 6 or whatever else, you don't have to plug into the send or the return of the amp. You can plug it straight into this power amp in. It's really dedicated for this kind of units, taking advantage of the power amp, the preamp of the Katana. There's a stereo span out to link with another Katana, so you have a stereo setup, stereo rig. And once again, this kind of features, except for the power amp in, are only available on the 100 watt model. 8-tone settings, memories for stalling and recalling all amps and settings. I guess this only has to do with 100 watt as well, because on the 50 was the same thing, less presets. Power control, that's the same thing. 3-cap resonance, that's the same thing. Probably they've messed around with the emulations from USB and stuff like that to get a better feel, a better tone. Okay, as you guys probably can see here on the screen, this is on my right, this is a 50 watt and this is 100 watt. As you guys can see, there's a lot of differences here in terms of specs. So once again, the 50 does not have effects loop, which is a pity, but anyway, it has a foot controller, phones rack out, and power amp in. And the 100 watt has effect loops, the power amp in as well, line out here, that is not available on the 50 as well. The stereo expands, so you can connect two Katanas and have a stereo rig. Auxiliary in, they both have that, and there's expression pedal, they both have that. and there's a dedicated input here for the GAFC on the 100 watts. So these are the main differences. If you guys know what I mean, let me just go here straight into one other great feature in terms of design. It didn't change too much, except for now you have like dual knobs. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen. In the effects section, you have one knob at the top and one knob at the bottom, so you can control the effects total separately. So it doesn't have that kind of stuff, and it goes until 12 on the booster and then slides up to the effects on the same knob at 12 o'clock. Now this is different right now because you have one control for the booster, and you can change whatever booster you want to put there via Boston Studio, and it goes up to 12. Right, and it just controls the boost, and then one other on the top that will control probably the modulation or vice versa. It depends on the knob, but that's pretty much it. And I think I'm looking at the 50, yes, because if I see here for the gallery, the 100 watt has presence which is not present on the 50. And they got a new kind of cool badge here underneath both title, which is I like it. It's cool. Here there are expression pedals you can connect to GAFC. There's a Whammy bar, There's a Digitech. There's a Whammy effect on that, like those Digitech Whammy effects. There's a bunch new effects. There's a bunch of cool new effects overall. And also I took a look at the Boston Studio, as you guys can see here on the screen. It's really cool. It's very different and very similar to the one that you guys can find on the Boss GT1000. Okay, there's the editor, librarian. The live sets are very different. Let's hope that you can import more than one patch at a time. That would be really neat. I haven't tested yet because my app hasn't arrived yet. Then you have Tone Central, right? You need to be connected to the internet so you can get all your cool tones here. System, a little bit closer to the GT1000. Line out settings, where you connect, where you choose your line out air fill, live, rec and blend. Power amp in settings. This is just for the 100 watt. Then you have your global EQ. You can choose between parametric and the GE10, which is pretty nice. USB settings, effect level out. Let's see if they increase the volume or the signal on the USB, because it still is very weak on the 50 on the Katana Generation 1. MIDI settings, device setting, the version, and all data backup. Going back to the editor, as you can see now, you have the knobs are separated here, they're not in top one of the other. So you have one total control for the boost, modulation, where you can choose different modulations, of course. You have also effects. You can assign the same kind of effect if you want to. Delay and reverb. And then you have the effects section where there's also delay plus reverb as well. I was trying to see this out. But now when you record via USB, you have stereo delays, so you have ping pong delays, which is really great, and I was really waiting for that. Better reverb, from what I heard in some videos, much better, and that's really cool. You have 4 chains now, as you can see here on the menu, very different chains. So this is really important when you connect to your multi-effects processor on the power amp in the back. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. Then there's a booster section, very just like the GT1000 with all the pedals. I think there's a few more pedals here. I haven't totally dived into it. Chorals, I mean the modulation effects, and there's a new flanger. If I'm not heavy octave, I think it's also new. And what else? Yeah, there's probably a Whammy somewhere there, I don't know. Another section for the effects. You can see the same effects pretty much. And then the controls underneath. Delays, digital, you have a lot of digital delays here, like analog, stereo, tape, echo. Delay 2, this is going to be really fun because you can have like almost 3 delays if you want to. I don't know if you know that. reverb with the typical reverbs, very cool here. Then you have the pedal effects. As you can see, this is where you can assign different expression pedals and ask them and choose what they want to do. As you can see here, there's a pedal band, so I'm guessing this is the whammy. Pretty cool, right? And the wah also. And then the DQ, amp out or amp in, can be parametric or the G10. This is really cool. This is where I'm going to spend a lot of time, probably. Nice suppressor. Let's see if they've made it a little better here. Send and return, and the assignments as was already present on the other Tone Studio. Okay, where you can assign anything to any knob to do whatever you want it to do. Then on top is very simple, the layout, okay? You have the brown, lead, crunch, clean and acoustic channels, gain, and the same thing for everything. But now here on top you can choose from here, from vintage to modern and to deep. And that's pretty much it. The tone settings are here. On the left, your 8 channels for the Boss Katana 100, I'm sorry. So I'm really excited for this amp to come home, because I want to start making my patches, new patches. By the way, the patches on the MK2 will not work on the previous generation. Vice versa, it works. The patches from the Katana Generation 1 will work on this one, so that's a plus, I guess. And what else? Oh, there's also the head. You guys probably, it's basically the same thing, except for it has MIDI, which is really cool. If you want to go further into tweaking stuff. So this is my news for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit too long, but this is exciting times for guitarists. Congratulations to Boss for achieving another great amplifier with more stuff, and I'm just waiting for mine to arrive and start making patches and really cool stuff. So have a nice day. Cheers.